Between now and Selection Sunday on March 13th, there are still tons of regular season college basketball action to go. Plus, all of the conference tournaments and Wager Talk and Sports Memo are announcing their March Madness Bonanza special, which includes the rest of college basketball regular season, conference tournaments, NCAA tournament through the national championship, and any plays released in the NIT or CBI tournaments. Sign up for this promotion now at your favorite handicappers homepage and get the rest of the college basketball season through the national championship on Monday, April 4th for just $177. That's under $5 a day for one of the best betting experience in sports. Act fast as the March Madness Bonanza special is only available for a limited time.
All right, let's try this again here, guys. Welcome in. A very happy Friday to you now, the 25th of February, 2022, as 16 games on the college basketball slate tonight. Big final push here over the weekend for teams, conference championships next week, of course, and then what is known as Madness, the month of March, just around the corner. And I can't think of three guys better to help break down some of these games here tonight than these three here, with Tony Mejia in the house, as well as Brian Leonard and Tony Finn here to dazzle you guys, see if we can't point you in the right direction on a couple of these plays. It is crunch time there, Tony Mejia. Happy Friday, man. Some of these teams battling for a spot. Some have nothing to play for. It's an interesting time of year, but what do you got locked and loaded for us at Wager Talk tonight?
I do have, Joe, a 4% College Hoops Plus package with my favorite play for the night. My favorite play last night was Arizona, and that won easily, so that was nice to see. Hit my 5% play in NBA. So, yeah, good night last night. Looking for a huge weekend. Unfortunately for the Sun Belt, because it's Sun Belt Friday, they've got everybody working tonight on their final night of the regular season. It's anticlimactic, and we'll be talking about one of those games, but the top four seeds are set. The Texas State Bobcats won the regular season title. So disappointing there, but we've got action in the MAC, action in the Big Ten tonight. So lots to talk about and break down. And then obviously a huge weekend as March approaches.
Yeah, just around the corner here. It is crunch time, Brian Leonard, but that's not stopping you, my friend, from dropping a big 5% best bet tonight at WagerTalk.com. What do you got going on?
Yeah, you mentioned the 5% play, 9-5 run, although we have lost our last four, which means we won 9 out of 10 before that. But it's what have you done for me lately? I need to get a winner for everybody today, and I'm very confident in that regard. I also have another college basketball play and our top play in the NHL, 31-11 in the NHL, number 1 on the site, NHL Profit, number 2 college basketball. Expect to sweep the board on tonight's card.
All right, let's do it here. Sweeping the board. Tony Finn, not a bad idea. What do you think here, my man? What do you got locked and loaded for us tonight at Wager Talk?
I have got 0. It's a small card. I do have a couple of plays in the hopper that I haven't made a decision on yet, but soon, right after the show. If we do have a college, then I'll have it right up. Maybe you guys will convince me to lean one way or the other. Right now, my plays are in the NBA. I'll do the best I can to get us some college.
All right, well, let's do it here then, guys. No better place to start than the A-10 here tonight with a big matchup between the Richmond Spiders. They're going to be hosting the Billikens of St. Louis. It opened up at 2.5. I'm seeing with that total right around 143.5, and this one's going to tip at 7 o'clock Eastern. So, Tony Mejia, kick us off in this big A-10 battle. What do you think of Richmond at home here tonight?
I think that I like St. Louis. You know, at this point, both of these teams, if you want to do your early NIT scouting, this is a great game to watch because both teams will probably be in that field. Their at-large resumes not solid enough to merit NCAA tournament consideration, although both are still in the mix, but they're deep bubble. They're beyond the last first 4 out type deal. So at this point, winner here at least sets themselves up to try to make a run. But these are both 4th and 5th place teams in the A10, actually 5th and 6th, now that I think about it. Look, they met already once at St. Louis. The Billikens won. Richmond is one of the more experienced teams in all of Division I. They had 4 guys come back and use their grad transfer year to try to make a run this season, and that's what made a home loss to VCU so disappointing earlier in the season. And then their most recent meeting down the street at the Siegel Center, VCU took that as well. So Richmond bounced back with a win over George Washington, I believe it was, earlier in the week. And this is a matchup between 2 of the better point guards in the conference. In St. Louis's Yuri Collins and Richmond, Jacob Gilliard. He just became the A10's all-time leading assist leader, which some of the point guards that they've had in that conference, Jameer Nelson, other guys, that's really an accomplishment. It speaks to his longevity. Both of these teams are going to be engaged for this one. I just like St. Louis a little bit better, and you're giving me points. So I'll take the Billikens on the road.
All right. Well, we've seen it before here, Brian. Another one of these rematch situations here tonight. Who do you think gets the best of it?
Yeah, it all depends on style of play. St. Louis, last time they played, they were at home. Now they're on the road. Usually your home favorites are the ones that dictate the pace. That would be Richmond here, a small home favorite, 3-point favorite. But you've got a St. Louis team who's 61st in offensive transition, 31st in defensive transition. And from the Richmond standpoint, the defense is 285th in defensive transition. So if St. Louis can get out and run in this game, Tony's probably got a nice winner there with them, because if that can happen, that's going to play into their time frame and what they want to look at and do. So it'll work out well for St. Louis. The problem is doing it on the road as opposed to doing it at home is another matter. From a power rating standpoint, I've got Richmond 54th, St. Louis 75th. And from a coin flip game standpoint, which is what I call games in which if the team shoots their regular shot selection on the season, their shot quality information in those games, they shoot like what should be on the season. St. Louis has been 4-2. They've been a little bit lucky in that regard, whereas Richmond 4-7. So you got a Richmond team that's a little bit better than what they have shown. But 3 seems like a fair number here. I think that's a little bit cheap here. If you like St. Louis, I think this game goes over. If you like Richmond, I think it goes under. Unfortunately, I don't have much of an opinion on this one.
All right. It should be a good one, though, in the A10 here, Tony Finn. What do you think? Who are you leaning towards, home team or the Billikens to get it done?
The season's been strange. I have this idea of who St. Louis is supposed to be, under their leadership, through this coaching staff, should I say. But they had it. And for me, believe it or not, typically I have a few occurrences, a few situations where I like St. Louis during the year. Not once this year did I play on, did I play against St. Louis. Both these teams are really positioning themselves for the A10 tournament. As Tony said, that they probably are going to have it's a stretch for them to be in that large selection on Selection Sunday. So positioning themselves for an NIT. And right now positioning themselves for seeding in the A10 tournament. So that said, the Billikens, they have a chance to win 20. That's a pretty big situation for any college team, even in this day and age where what do we play now? About 8 games more per season than we used to 20 years ago. But St. Louis won the first meeting, guys. They won the first meeting. They have, in the most part, dominated Richmond over the course of 2 decades. But that was then. What is now? Billikens really shoot pretty good beyond the arc this year. 36 overall. I think almost 38% in conference. And the problem here is that they've been really bad, guys. On the road, they have not been consistent in any way, shape, or form. Their adjusted defensive efficiency, 5th in the conference. In the first meeting, they held Richmond to 37% shooting for the field. And we got a Richmond team that averages 73.3 per game. You have a Richmond team that I think basically is at home. They play well at home. This is a situation where, as most of these guys said, it's really a toss-up. And if you're going to flip a coin here, I'm going to take the home team in Richmond here over St. Louis. I think that it's senior night, or senior night for Richmond tonight, and they have a trio of guys, Golden, Gilliard, and Kao, that will be key for this game. So give me Richmond at home on senior night.
All right, going Richmond at home to get it done here tonight. Senior night, in fact, in the A10. And we'll go from there to, well, the Ivy League. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We're going to go here to Bellingham. We're going Texas State taking on Troy. My bad there. Wrong colors. Texas State opens up as a 1.5 favorite here against Troy. 128.5 is was the opening number. I am seeing pretty much there's a 129 popping up. That number is 2 now across most of the shops. So, Brian Leonard, what do you think here with the Troy Trojans tonight getting points at home?
Yeah, Tony touched on this game a little bit earlier, and he talked about basically everybody's set up where they're supposed to be. But from a standpoint of home loss revenge, Texas State has lost 1 game at home all season long. That was against Troy. In a game they lost 78 to 63. So you're playing home loss revenge, which normally it's an overblown situation. Well, not if it's your only home loss of the season. And that is what happened in the original matchup. From a power rating standpoint, I've got Texas State 103rd, Troy 180th. From a coin flip game standpoint, Texas State is 0-2 on the season, whereas Troy's been fortunate. They're 8-4. So we got a Texas State team who hasn't had the luck that Troy's had, and you're playing at home with your only home loss. You're playing on the road after your only home loss of the season, and that was to Troy. Really concerned about this Troy offense. They're ranked 275th in shot quality, home court offense, half court offense, and 324, in shot quality transition offense. So Troy's has a tough time putting points on the board. Texas State, the much better team with something to play for tonight. I know that it's not important when it comes to the final standings or anything, but when you've only lost once all season long at home, and you're getting them in basically a pick-up situation, gotta love Texas State here.
All right, liking Texas State to get it done. What do you think, Tony Mejia here? Not a ton on the line, but anytime you get a home dog, it's interesting. What are we looking at here tonight?
Yeah, I like Troy, and we'll talk about it in my best bet segment. And you can look at the replay, the write-up on my page, wt.buzz/TM. But since we'll talk about that there, let's talk about the total. Brian referenced Troy's inefficiency offensively. I think that could lead to a low-scoring game here. Maybe take a look at the under. Texas State, like I said, has already wrapped up the number 1 seed. Troy can actually fall to 4 here, so they have a little more to play for. But Texas State won 55-52 the other night at South Alabama to clinch that top seed. They've been really playing good defense, have won 11 of the last 14, and have allowed 54 or fewer points in 3 of the last 4. So really digging in defensively. Scott Cross is a defensive coach for Troy. And so in that regard, I think the Trojans will be ready to play the senior night for them in Alabama tonight. They got a couple of guys that have been there for years that they're trying to honor with a victory. And again, they need it more than the Bobcats do to avoid slipping in to that 4 seed. They could finish and wrap up that number 2 seed with a victory tonight. So we'll talk about that at best bets. But as far as this goes, I think I am leaning towards the under here.
All right, leaning towards the under in this matchup. How about it, Finn? How you approaching Troy here?
Well, it's kind of a funny situation. Here's kind of a call it what you want. It's a lot of ways to describe it, but Texas State lost his first meeting by, as Brian said, by 15. They were 6-point home favorites. So many might ask, why are the Bobcats still laying a short price on the road here? In that game, Troy had a 1.2 per possession. That was the highest of the season against any Division I opponent. The truth is that this team isn't, 280th in effective field goal offense, 344th in offensive turnover percentage, 240th in 3 points, 271st in 2 points, all against Division I's. In that game, Troy was 23 of 35 inside the arc in 2s. It's Texas State today. I mean, this is also a Bobcats team. that's like 25th in the nation in turnover percentage on defense. So in that first game, they played well above what their average, season average, what we expected of them, and the play today here at Texas State, in my opinion.
All right, Texas State it is here, guys. We do have one more game, in fact, on tap tonight, and we're going to take a look at how about Monmouth laying 4 at home against St. Peter's here with that total 131.5, and I'm seeing that pushed up to 132, 132.5, and I'm seeing a 4s pretty much across the board still. So, Tony Finn, start us off here with Monmouth taking on St. Pete.
I'll have to go ahead and confess right now, guys. This will not be a game I probably will be watching live, but we'll sure cover this. The Peacocks and the Hawks. Gotta like that first up. The Peacocks and the Hawks at the multi-purpose activity center tonight. The Peacocks lost to Siena last game, and for the most part, St. Peter's is a pedestrian. 12-11 on the year. Monmouth, a little better, 18-9, coming off a win against Siena. I believe that's correct. And St. Peter's had a slow start to the season, 3-6. Since then, I think they had an 8-2 run thereafter. And since then, they've been 1-3, so pretty hot and cold as far as if you don't know much about this team. And Monmouth side, 10-2 start to the season, 4-game losing streak. Now 8-3 since. So what do you do with these two teams? Listen, guys, I didn't cover these teams very much this year, but the Hawks are 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 at home. Monmouth 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 Fridays, and these guys play on Fridays quite a bit. So people say, why would you bring up Friday trends? Well, that's because that's the day they play on for the most part. The truth is, I could argue winners on both sides here, losers on both sides here, but the Hawks have been the most consistent of the two since late January, and I will take the Hawks in this exciting and featured matchup on Friday night.
All right, going with the Hawks here. Tony Mahia, talk to us here. Who you leaning towards in this matchup?
Well, let me publicly admonish Tony Finn for not watching this game. All you got to do is fire it up on a tablet, man. It's on ESPN3. You got a dog bark in the background. He's yelling at him, too. I love it. Look, this matchup is to tie Siena for the number 2 spot in the MAC. So it's important because you don't want to be stuck in Iona's part of the bracket. And the loser here drops to 4. Jersey battle. The teams have faced each other before. I actually like this Monmouth team a lot. Walker Miller is Cincinnati coach Wes Miller's kid brother. He's just shy of 7 feet. He spent 4 seasons in Chapel Hill at UNC. Didn't get off the bench much, but they've had a lot of quality bigs there. Kessler, who's at Auburn right now, was there last year. Armando Baycott. Obviously, they've had guys before that. So this kid is seasoned, and he's bringing the lumber for the Hawks in the MAC. They've got a nice front court rotation there, and they hosted Siena on Tuesday and posted a 71-59 win. Miller and Ruddy, Nickel Ruddy, combined for 17 points and 26 rebounds. So I think if there's a team that's going to give Iona a handful, even though Siena has beaten them head-to-head so far in Albany, I think it's actually Monmouth. So this will be an interesting matchup for them. They're laying points here against the Peacocks. St. Peter's can play too. St. Peter's won the first matchup between these teams. I think Monmouth gets a little revenge tonight at home. So I'm going to lay the points with the Hawks.
All right, laying the points with the Hawks here tonight. So, Brian Leonard, tell us how you're going to approach this. St. Peter's, the defense, or are you going to go with Monmouth to score enough to win this game?
Yeah, St. Peter's has to win with the defense. They're 75th in shot quality half-court defense and 52nd in shot quality transition defense. In fact, Monmouth's also good in transition defense, 38th. So we've got two teams that are really good in stopping the opponents from running. It's a situation for me. I think Monmouth will be able to dictate the pace, being a home favorite a little bit, but I expect this game to stay under the total. We got two teams. I noticed earlier when you put up the charts that you had both teams have had a lot of success going under the total this year. I think that'll be the case again here. From a power rating standpoint, I've got Monmouth 174th, St. Peter's 241st. And from a coin flip game situation, I've got St. Peter's 3-3 and Monmouth 3-0. So Monmouth's been a little bit fortunate in that regard. This 4 looks a little cheap. I agree with Tony. I'm leaning with Monmouth, but I think the better play is probably going to be the under in this contest.
Yeah, Peacocks 12-4 against the number. Their last 16, 6-2 against the number, and their last 8 on the road. So we'll see if they can get it done here tonight. Should be a good one there. And not a lot to choose from, guys. And we know what games Tony Finn won't be watching tonight, but there is 16 total games on the card. And that'll include, I believe, a couple of Big Ten games. So there is some interest. Now it is time to figure out if these guys have a game that they like a little bit more than the rest. So Tony Mejia, start us off here, my man. What do you got here tonight? What's your best bet here?
Yeah, I'm going to be looking at this Texas State-Troy game, even though, as we referenced, it's not one that's going to affect seeding. But if you want to do your Sun Belt tournament homework, tonight's the night. All 12 teams are playing. Seeding at stake for a lot of these teams. The top 4 seeds are set, but as we said, Texas State locked in at number 1. Troy can fall to 4 or claim that number 2 seed. I think that they will claim that number 2 seed. They've been a team that was really picked to finish towards the bottom of the league, so they've been overachievers. They won that first game in San Marcos against Texas State. Texas State was missing its point guard, Mason Harrell, so he'll be back tonight. That'll really make things different for the Bobcats on the road, give them more of a backbone. But I like Troy. They dominated the first meeting inside. They scored in the paint. F.A. Odigi, who started his career at UTEP, has really been a force for Troy all season. He's kind of the guy that makes everything go at both ends of the floor for Troy. So we will go ahead and back the Trojans at home getting points. Give me all the points for a team that needs the win more than Texas State does.
All right, there he is, going with Troy here tonight. Brian Leonard, 5% best bet, locked and loaded at WagerTalk.com for tonight. Nobody been hotter with their 5% best bets than you here this year. So talk to us. What's one game you got circled you like a little more than the rest?
Yeah, we'll go back to that same game. Tony just talked about the team in Troy needing the game more. Well, if you ever bet the NFL near the end of the season, you know the team that needs to win doesn't always do so. And I'm going to disagree here and take a look at Texas State. As I mentioned, the only game they lost at home this year was to this Troy team, and they gave up 78 points to a bad offensive team in Troy. So I'm going to lay the short number here with Texas State in what isn't an important game for them traditionally, but when you've only lost one game at home all season and you get to play that team again, I'm going to lay it with the short number on Texas State.
All right, laying it with the short number on Texas State. And how about it, Tony Finn? Where are you going here tonight?
We're going to go to the Big Ten. Friday night in the Big Ten, right? Okay. First off, this time of year, I typically will go through the season at the end of the night before I retire or quit paying attention to basketball or any sports for that matter. There's always this time of year you can call it what you want, tale of caution or rematches. The first game, how did it end up? What happened? What was the number? What was the final score? Et cetera, et cetera. Well, Penn State, Northwestern in the Big Ten. The first time these two met, the total in the game was 130. And tonight you'll see the total was 120, or yesterday, overnight was 127. And it climbed to 129. So immediately, I want to know why this climbed. Was it just an adjustment? Was it public money? Was it short money? What was it? And in our business, we have a pretty good idea what it is and what it isn't. Sometimes we do. We don't. But in this game, the first game was 63-63. Okay, 43 seconds, I think, was the number. So they were playing right to the number, right? The final score in this game was 74-70. No overtime. What happened was the two teams scored 18 points in the final minute, or the final 45 seconds. Now, this happens in a tie game. If a team gets up, they foul, back and forth. But it was really unusual. This was tied with 43, and all of a sudden we get 18 points in 43 seconds. Listen, Northwestern both the teams played well above their pay grade that night. The Wildcats were 12 of 26 from the three line. Only 2 of the games this season did they shoot better or make more threes than that given night. The total, about 129 at most shops right now. And for the most part, I don't see where any sharp money or any groups have steamed or at least moved this from 127 to 129. I think for the most part, people are seeing what the score was in the first one. Obviously, 127 is a low number. I'm going to go over. I disagree with the move here. I like under in this Penn State Northwestern, under 129. To play much like it did in the first game, we won't, without the 18 points in the last 43 seconds. Give me under 129 in this Big Ten Friday night.
All right, let's go. Over 129. Penn State here. Under 129 in that Penn State game. The over, it keep getting steamed up. You're right, at that 127. All of a sudden you blink and it's up to 129. Yeah. Finn ain't buying it. He's going under in that matchup there. And our friends from the Gold Sheet, well, they got their eye on the game tonight as well, and it happens to be in the Ivy League. There it is, as Harvard and Princeton going at it here tonight, and they like points. Why not with Princeton? They do score a bunch of points. Take the over in this one, 141 and a half. Great write-up here, too, guys. You can catch it over on our Twitter page at WagerTalk. Go ahead and read up on this game. And obviously over at goldsheet.com, guys, write-ups on a number of games. Great handicapping tools available to you. Just go over there. Take a look, guys. Always good stuff at the goldsheet.com, especially with March Madness just around the corner. All right, tonight I'm going to go with William and Mary. No, I'm always shitting you. Today I am going to go with, they could have played that game 3 times yesterday. They weren't scoring 50 points and winning. But we are going to go in the MAC, though. I'm going to take the Zips, baby. Give me Akron and the points going up against Ohio here. They're on a bit of a roll here, and better rebounding team, better form right now. 7.5 feels like a lot of points to be laying in this matchup. So I'm going to go ahead and take those points. Give me Akron tonight to get it done. And a recap one more time, guys. We got, Tony Mejia. He's back in Troy to get it done here tonight. Brian Leonard, he's going to go Texas State. Tony Finn is going to go with the under. Screw the market movement. Give me the under 129 Northwestern and Penn State. I'm going to go with the Zips tonight. Akron getting 7.5. And our friends from the Gold Sheet, they like Harvard, Princeton over 141.5. I'm shocked nobody said Fred Hoiberg and 195 points in Iowa tonight. But guys, don't forget, best bets are locked and loaded. WagerTalk.com. You heard Brian Leonard tell you he's got a 5% best bet, guys, right now available. Tony Mejia locked and loaded here. Don't forget, NBA plays also available right now. Nobody hotter than Tony Finn there. So visit all 3 of these gentlemen. And don't forget, those 3-day, 7-day, 30-day all-access packages are available. Never miss a best bet here, guys. Let's make it a profitable Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And don't forget, come back and join us on Monday. Big week next week. Conference tournaments begin. A lot to be decided still. We've got you covered here at Wager Talk. So on behalf of the Tony brothers, Finn and Mejia, along with Brian Leonard, guys, we appreciate the time. Thanks for hanging with us here. Hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner. Come back and join us on Monday. We'll do it all over again. In the meantime, best of luck with your plays tonight and this weekend, guys. We'll talk to you Monday. Good luck.
Between now and Selection Sunday on March 13th, there are still tons of regular season college basketball action to go. Plus, all of the conference tournaments and Wager Talk and Sports Memo are announcing their March Madness Bonanza special, which includes the rest of college basketball regular season, conference tournaments, NCAA tournament through the national championship, and any plays released in the NIT or CBI tournaments. Sign up for this promotion now at your favorite handicappers homepage and get the rest of the college basketball season through the national championship on Monday, April 4th for just $177. That's under $5 a day for one of the best betting experience in sports. Act fast, as the March Madness Bonanza special is only available for a limited time.